The invasion begins. The sky darkened with the silhouette of the alien armada. Major Tom "Havoc" Harland watched as the Zenui ships blotted out the sun, casting an ominous shadow over Earth. The first assault had been devastating, reducing the Nevada bunkers to rubble and glass. Despite this, Harland and his Ragtag militia stood their ground, their resolve hardening with each passing moment. "Brace yourselves," Harland shouted, his voice carrying over the din of chaos. "We fight for every inch of this planet." In high orbit, General Crace, the Zenui commander, observed the scene with cold detachment. His claws tapped rhythmically on the armrest of his command throne. "These humans are more resilient than I anticipated," he mused. "No matter. They will fall." Inside the shadowed halls of Area 51, Harland's engineers worked frantically to arm Earth's last hope, a jury-rigged superweapon. The power core strained under the load, its hum growing louder by the second. Failure meant capture or death, but success could turn the tide. "Hit those alien bastards with everything we've got left," Harland growled, his eyes steely. "For all mankind." The explosion that followed ripped through the desert, sending shockwaves through both the human and alien forces. When the dust settled, Harland stood amid the wreckage, victorious. News of their triumph spread like wildfire, igniting hope across the globe. "The Resistance rises." Title: Unyielding Defiance. Encrypted messages and graffiti carried the call to arms. In Europe, militias sabotaged alien installations. Snipers in Asia's towers picked off Zenui soldiers. Africa's jungles hid ambush squads that struck with deadly precision. The Zenui had conquered countless worlds, but they had underestimated the indomitable spirit of humanity. General Crace, reeling from the unexpected losses, deployed the Vorax death squads, elite Zenui beasts known for their brutality. Their boots echoed through desolate cities, spreading terror in their wake. But Harland had already vanished, leaving behind traps that decimated the Vorax and demoralized the Zenui troops. In response, Crace ordered a scorch earth policy. Flames consumed ancient forests, and proud buildings crumbled into ashes. Each loss only fueled humanity's determination. In a ruined city, Harland discovered a crippled Zenui scout ship. He pried open the hatch and rewired the comms, broadcasting a false surrender to lure the Zenui leaders into a trap. "Now we wait," Harland muttered, eyes glinting with anticipation. "Let's see if they take the bait." The final battle. Title: The Turning Point. General Crace's flagship descended, its warriors ready for what they thought would be a final, victorious assault. Harland's militia lay in wait, weapons gripped tightly, their eyes burning with a fierce resolve. The moment Crace's troops set foot on the ground, Harland pressed the detonator. Explosions rocked the battlefield, and Zenui soldiers fell by the dozens. Amid the chaos, Crace's shield held, leaving him untouched. A vicious melee ensued, humans charging with primal fury against the alien menace. Harland's movements were a blur of precision and power. He led Crace into an exposed clearing, feigning a stumble. When Crace moved in for the kill, Harland triggered an EMP. The Zenui general's shield and armor failed, leaving him vulnerable. With a swift motion, Harland struck, capturing Crace and scattering the remaining Zenui forces. The news of Crace's capture spread like wildfire, igniting a global uprising. From the smoking ruins to hidden bunkers, humanity united, ready to reclaim their planet. The Reckoning. Title: The Human Spirit. Crace sat chained in a bare concrete room, his once imposing figure reduced to a shadow of its former self. Across from him, Harland leaned forward, a steely determination in his eyes. "Your fleet won't save you now," Harland said, flipping a switch to reveal screens filled with alien ship movements and code. "We've already disrupted your control." Crace sneered, but fear flickered in his eyes. "You can't stop the Dominion." "Watch us," Harland replied, his voice a cold promise. Deep underground, Harland's team prepped the captured scout ship. The virus they had developed was ready to dismantle the Xenu network. The ship hummed with lethal intent, and the crew, a mix of engineers, hackers, and pilots, shared a moment of silent determination. "This payload cuts off the head," Harlan said as the ship lifted off, bound for the dark side of the moon. The crew faked a distress signal, luring the Xenui into a trap. Chaos erupted as the virus took hold, crippling the alien defenses. On Earth, the militia watched as the Xenui network collapsed, their hope transforming into a fierce resolve. The liberation. Reclaiming our planet. Harlan stood on the command ship's bridge, staring at the hologram of Earth's ragtag fleet. The Xenui ships, still reeling from the virus, struggled to regroup. Harlan's voice crackled over the comms, sharp and determined. "Operation Thermopylae is a go. Hit them now while they're scrambling." The fleet moved as one, scrap-built fighters pouring from their base. Missiles and lasers streaked through the blackness, targeting Xenui engines and weapons. Harlan watched as his forces weaved through the chaos, dismantling the Xenui blockade piece by piece. Inside Xenui ships, human soldiers moved with a primal fury, their boots ringing on cold floors. Rifles blazed, and alien screams filled the corridors. Despite their best efforts, the Xenui couldn't withstand the relentless human assault. "Hold the line, inch by inch," Harlan's voice echoed through the chaos. For Earth. With each Xenui ship that fell, the tide of battle turned. The human fleet surged forward, reclaiming their skies and their planet. A new dawn. Unity in victory. The Xenui High Command was in disarray. Officers shouted accusations, and the once mighty empire crumbled from within. Harlan's coalition, now a mix of humans and liberated alien species, continued their relentless advance. Harlan himself led a daring raid on a Xenui fuel depot, planting explosives and slipping away just as the facility erupted in flames. The explosion signaled the beginning of the end for the Xenui Dominion. Back at the rebel base, Harlan met with his diverse coalition. Tentacled Taurians and feathered Sirens shared his vision of liberation. Together, they struck Xenui supply lines and communications, vanishing before the enemy could retaliate. Planet by planet, the coalition liberated oppressed worlds, their courage uniting them against the Xenui oppressors. Harlan's name became a symbol of defiance and hope. The road ahead. The price of peace. A new beginning. The dawn of a new era. Years passed, and the galaxy slowly began to heal. The coalition's efforts to rebuild and strengthen alliances paid off, and new civilizations joined their cause. Trade routes were established, scientific advancements flourished, and cultural exchanges enriched all involved. Harlan's name became synonymous with hope and unity. Statues of him were erected on countless planets, and his story was taught in schools as a testament to the power of the human spirit. In his later years, Harlan retired from his formal duties, but he remained an influential figure. He spent his days writing memoirs, advising young leaders, and enjoying the peace he had fought so hard to secure. The legacy. A lasting impact. Major Tom Harlan's legacy endured long after his passing. The coalition he helped build grew stronger with each passing generation. His teachings and principles continued to guide new leaders, ensuring that the values of freedom, unity, and resilience remained at the core of their society. Harlan's story was immortalized in countless books, films, and songs. He became a symbol of what could be achieved when individuals put aside their differences and worked together for a common cause. The Xenui, once a formidable enemy, had been integrated into the coalition. Through efforts of reconciliation and cooperation, former enemies became allies, working together to explore and understand the vast universe. The future. A universe united. The coalition's influence expanded beyond the known galaxy. New frontiers were explored, new species were encountered, and new alliances were formed. The principles that Harlan had championed, courage, unity, and the relentless pursuit of freedom, guided the coalition's interactions with new civilizations. As humanity and their allies ventured into the unknown, They carried with them the lessons of the past. They knew that the road ahead would not always be easy, but they were prepared to face whatever challenges lay in their path. In the end, Major Tom Harlan's greatest victory was not the defeat of the Zenui, but the enduring legacy of unity and hope that he left behind. The universe, once divided and scarred by war, was now a place of endless possibilities, a place where the human spirit continued to shine brightly. The new generation, the guardians of peace. As time passed, a new generation of leaders emerged, inspired by Harlan's legacy. Among them was Lyra Jennings, a young and brilliant strategist who had grown up hearing tales of Harlan's bravery. She was determined to uphold his ideals and lead the coalition into a new era of exploration and discovery. Lyra's first major challenge came when a mysterious signal was detected from beyond the known galaxy. It was unlike anything they had encountered before, and it hinted at the presence of an advanced and potentially dangerous civilization. The Coalition Council appointed Lyra to lead the expedition to investigate the source of the signal. The expedition into the unknown. Lyra assembled a diverse team of scientists, engineers, and soldiers. Among them was a seasoned veteran named Captain Jarek, who had served under Harlan and now provided valuable guidance to the young leader. Together, they embarked on a journey into the uncharted regions of space. The expedition faced numerous challenges, from navigating treacherous asteroid fields to dealing with hostile environments on alien worlds. Along the way, they encountered new species and forged alliances, always guided by the principles of cooperation and mutual respect. The discovery. The ancient threat. After months of exploration, Lyra and her team finally traced the signal to its source, a massive and ancient structure orbiting a dying star. Inside, they discovered evidence of a once great civilization that had fallen into decline. The structure housed advanced technology, but it also held a dark secret, a powerful weapon capable of destroying entire planets. Lyra realized that this weapon could not fall into the wrong hands. She and her team worked tirelessly to dismantle it, but their efforts were complicated by the arrival of a rogue faction seeking to use the weapon for their own purposes. A tense standoff ensued, culminating in a fierce battle within the ancient structure. The battle for control. The final stand. Lyra's leadership and tactical brilliance shone as she coordinated her team's efforts to neutralize the rogue faction. Captain Jarek's experience proved invaluable, and together they managed to outmaneuver their opponents. In the heat of battle, Lyra activated the self-destruct sequence for the weapon, ensuring that it would never be used to bring destruction. As the structure began to collapse, Lyra and her team made a daring escape. They returned to the coalition with the knowledge they had gained and the assurance that the ancient threat had been neutralized. Their success was celebrated across the galaxy, and Lyra's name was added to the list of legendary leaders who had safeguarded the future. The continuing mission. Beyond the horizon. With the immediate threat behind them, the coalition continued its mission of exploration and diplomacy. Lyra, now a respected leader, worked to strengthen alliances and foster understanding among the diverse species of the galaxy. She knew that the challenges they faced would require unity and cooperation, just as Harlan had taught. As the coalition expanded its reach, they encountered new wonders and faced new dangers. They discovered ancient ruins, explored uncharted worlds, and engaged in diplomatic efforts to resolve conflicts peacefully. Lyra's vision of a united galaxy guided their actions, ensuring that the legacy of Harlan and the human spirit continued to inspire. The Summit of Stars. A galaxy united. To celebrate the coalition's achievements and to strengthen their bonds, Lyra organized the first Summit of Stars, a gathering of representatives from all member civilizations. The summit was held on Earth, symbolizing the unity that had been forged through struggle and sacrifice. Delegates from across the galaxy convened to discuss matters of mutual interest, share knowledge, and celebrate their shared journey. The summit was a testament to the power of collaboration and the enduring spirit of hope. In her keynote address, Lyra spoke of the challenges they had overcome and the limitless possibilities that lay ahead. "Together, we have built something extraordinary," she said. "A galaxy where diversity is celebrated, where differences are a source of strength, and where the pursuit of knowledge and peace guides our every action." The eternal flame. The spirit of humanity. As the summit drew to a close, a new monument was unveiled in the heart of the Coalition's headquarters, a towering flame that represented the eternal spirit of humanity. The flame was a reminder of the resilience, courage, and determination that had brought them to this point. Major Tom Harlan's legacy was immortalized not only in the flame, but in the hearts and minds of every being who called the galaxy home. His story continued to inspire, reminding them that no challenge was insurmountable when faced with unity and resolve. The next chapter, Endless Horizons. With the summit concluded, the Coalition looked to the future with renewed determination. They knew that the journey ahead would be filled with challenges and opportunities, but they were ready to face them together. Lyra stood on the bridge of her ship, gazing out at the stars. She knew that the legacy of Major Tom Harlan would continue to guide them, lighting the way as they ventured into the unknown. The galaxy was vast and filled with mysteries, but with unity, courage, and the indomitable human spirit, there was no limit to what they could achieve. As the Coalition's ships set course for new frontiers, the flame of hope burned brightly, a beacon for all who sought a better future. The story of humanity and their allies was far from over. It was just beginning, with endless horizons waiting to be explored. The shadow of war. The emergent threat. As the Coalition continued its mission of exploration and unity, whispers of a new and ominous threat began to spread. A previously unknown alien species, the Kuralath, emerged from the fringes of the galaxy. They were technologically advanced and fiercely territorial, challenging the Coalition's expansion and peace efforts. Lyra Jennings received reports of skirmishes between Kuralath scouts and Coalition patrols. The Kuralath were aggressive and seemingly uninterested in diplomacy. Their advanced weaponry and tactics presented a significant threat to the Coalition's stability. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Lyra convened an emergency council meeting. Representatives from all Coalition members gathered to discuss the Kuralath threat and devise a strategy. "We must approach this with caution and strength," Lyra said, her voice steady. "The Kuralath are not like any adversary we faced before. We need to understand their motives and capabilities." The first encounter. Clash of Titans. Lyra led a reconnaissance mission to the Kuralath's territory, determined to gather intelligence and assess their strength. The Coalition fleet, led by Lyra's flagship, the Unity, ventured into uncharted space. As they neared Kuralath space, they encountered a massive Kuralath warship. The tension was palpable as the two fleets faced off. Lyra opened a communication channel, hoping to initiate a dialogue. "This is Admiral Lyra Jennings of the United Coalition," she announced. "We seek peaceful relations and wish to understand your intentions." The response was swift and hostile. The Kuralath warship opened fire, unleashing a barrage of energy weapons. The Coalition fleet retaliated, and a fierce battle ensued. Lyra's tactical acumen and the Coalition's training were put to the test as they fought to repel the Kuralath attack. The battle was intense, but the Coalition fleet managed to outmaneuver the Kuralath forces, inflicting significant damage. The Kuralath warship eventually retreated, leaving Lyra and her crew to assess the aftermath. The infiltration. Behind enemy lines. Determined to learn more about the Kuralath, Lyra devised a daring plan to infiltrate their territory. She selected a small team of elite operatives, including Captain Jarek, to carry out the mission. Their goal was to gather intelligence on the Kuralath's plans and technology. Disguised as traitors, the team infiltrated a Kuralath outpost. They moved carefully, gathering information and avoiding detection. As they delved deeper into the Kuralath's operations, they discovered disturbing evidence of the Kuralath's expansionist ambitions and their plans to attack key Coalition worlds. The team transmitted their findings back to Lyra, but their cover was eventually blown. They fought their way out of the outpost, narrowly escaping with their lives. The intelligence they gathered was invaluable, providing the coalition with critical insights into the Kurlath threat. The alliance. Strength in unity. Armed with the new intelligence, Lyra knew that the coalition needed to bolster its defenses and seek new allies. She reached out to the remnants of the Zenui, now a humbled and reformed people, to join the coalition against the Kurlath threat. The Zenui leaders, having learned from their past mistakes, agreed to join the coalition. Their technological expertise and knowledge of the galaxy's darker corners proved invaluable. Together, the coalition and the Zenui began to prepare for the inevitable conflict with the Kurlath. Lyra also sought alliances with other independent civilizations that had yet to join the coalition. Her efforts paid off as several new allies, impressed by the coalition's resilience and values, pledged their support. The Battle of Nexus. The turning point. The coalition's preparations were put to the test when the Kurlath launched a massive assault on Nexus, a strategically vital planet. The battle that ensued was one of the largest and most brutal in the coalition's history. Lyra led the coalition fleet from the Unity, coordinating the defense with precision and determination. The Kurlath forces were relentless, their advanced weaponry testing the coalition's limits. Captain Jarek, commanding a squadron of fighters, played a crucial role in the battle, using his experience and skill to outmaneuver the Kurlath ships. The Zenui, now fighting alongside their former enemies, provided critical support, their knowledge of Kurlath tactics proving invaluable. The battle raged for hours, with both sides sustaining heavy losses. Just as it seemed the Kurlath might overwhelm the coalition defenses, a breakthrough came. Lyra's tactical brilliance and the coalition's unity turned the tide. The Kurlath flagship was destroyed, and their forces were forced to retreat. The diplomatic effort. A fragile peace. Despite the victory at Nexus, Lyra knew that the war with the Kurlath was far from over. She initiated a diplomatic effort to seek a truce and prevent further bloodshed. Using the intelligence gathered by her infiltration team, she reached out to the Kurlath leaders. The negotiations were tense, with the Kurlath proving to be a proud and stubborn adversary. However, Lyra's persistence and the coalition's show of strength eventually led to a breakthrough. A ceasefire was agreed upon, providing a temporary respite from the conflict. During the ceasefire, Lyra focused on strengthening the coalition's defenses and building trust with the Kurlath. She knew that a lasting peace would require understanding and cooperation, not just military might. The hidden threat. Shadows of deception. As the coalition and the Kurlath navigated the fragile peace, a new threat emerged from within. A rogue faction within the Kurlath, opposed to the truce, began to undermine the peace efforts. They launched covert operations to destabilize coalition worlds and reignite the conflict. Lyra's intelligence network uncovered the rogue faction's plans, and she quickly mobilized her forces to counter the threat. Captain Jarek led a series of covert missions to neutralize the rogue operatives and prevent their attacks. The situation reached a critical point when the rogue faction attempted to assassinate Lyra. The attempt failed, but it highlighted the danger that still lurked in the shadows. Lyra doubled her efforts to root out the rogue faction and ensure the truce held. The final stand. Defending unity. The rogue faction's actions eventually forced the Kurlath leadership to disavow them and join forces with the coalition to eliminate the threat. In a rare show of unity, the coalition and the Kurlath launched a joint operation to dismantle the rogue faction's stronghold. The final battle was fierce, with both sides fighting to protect their fragile peace. Lyra and her team led the charge, their determination unwavering. The rogue faction fought desperately, knowing that their defeat would mean the end of their rebellion.